Hi, it's Chris from My Stamp Lady, and I'm going to talk about the super popular Hammered Metal 3D embossing plate. I will show you how to use both sides of this embossed impression. Okay, so we are going to be using this with the Perfectly Plaid bundle. And that is this stamp set, which coordinates with this punch. This is a photopolymer stamp set, which works great for seeing through. And I've also coordinated it with the Wrapped in Plaid Designer Series paper. And then I also have one of our wonderful gold gift boxes, the mini pizza box here. Okay, so I'm going to start with this Hammered Metal 3D plate. And you can see I have a note to myself, purple plate, that I put on there. And that's because it works best with this embossing plate that is on our online store. And you can just use this in your die cutting machine with this plate. And then with the Big Shot, it's the Big Shot platform. So this will be your sandwich for the 3D embossing folders. It is popular to use both sides of this particular folder, and I'm going to do the card first, and so I will be running a few things through the Big Shot. The first thing I'm going to run through is this piece of Designer Series paper from the Wrapped in Plaid to show you that you really can emboss patterned paper. So here's my result, and you'll see I have kind of the lines upward, so it looks like it's been hammered down that way. The back side almost has like a faux pebble look. So on the designer paper, I decided to use the little lined side up. But now when I emboss this gold foil, I want to use the other side. I want kind of the more pebble look. So I'm going to place that in there, and I have flipped it over because this is the side that's going to give me the lines, and I want that pebble side up with the purple plate and run it through my machine. And when you're done, that's the look you have. I will be showing you on a piece of solid cardstock on my box. Okay, so now I'm going to continue on with this card. I have a piece of shaded spruce, and this is a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. I am going to mat my piece here with this gold foil. Now the thing about gold foil is it costs a little bit more than your regular cardstock. So normally I wouldn't think anything of leaving all of this cardstock in here, but I want to cut that out so that I can use it for a different project. So I now have a sneak peek of our brand new trimmer that's coming November 1st, and it has a much deeper cutting blade than our old one, and I will be doing a video soon showing about this. So basically I'm going to cut in here and cut this part out so I can use it for a different project, and then but yet leave my edges. I'm leaving about a 5/8 inch edge, and it looks like I'm going to have to probably cut a little bit also. That's okay though. So if I would have gone right up to my edges, I wouldn't have to trim, but I just decided to just trim this little part out. So this is the part that's going to be exposed, and I'll save that for a different project. On the back, I'm going to put my adhesive along the edges here. And then I will just line this up. I'm going to be lining up my left sides because I did decide to make that flush on the edge. And then let's just put that down. And now I have a piece that looks like it's completely matted, but I have this chunk missing that nobody is going to see or know that is missing. So now I can just go ahead and put this down on my card front. So I'm going to move on and work on my sentiment, and I'm going to white emboss this with some white embossing powder. So I have the North Pole Delivery. Let's take the VersaMark. I've brushed it with the Embossing Buddy, inking that up with my VersaMark. And then we will just go down and up onto that shaded spruce. Grab my white powder here. Okay, I like to use a tweezer so I don't burn my fingers. I have brushed off all the extra powder, and now I'm going to heat set. Okay, now I can let that cool. Now I need a few trees, and I'm going to use the Wrapped in Plaid. So in this particular pattern, in the Wrapped in Plaid, the trees fit perfectly with the coordinating punch. So all I need to do is to line that up and punch that out, and I have my trees. And then I'm going to punch one tree out of this paper here. So let's put down that embossed piece of gold foil. And we'll just place that about right there. And then I can just put my trees down. A little bit of adhesive on the back here. I have added dimensionals to the back side of my sentiment. I've removed the covers, and now I can just place this down here. Then to finish off the card front here, I'm going to just take a little length of the white twine, and I'll just tie a quick bow. I'm going to roll up a mini glue dot, so just to kind of roll it in place, just to make that smaller. And we'll place that right on the back of my twine. The twine, and then I'm just going to accent the front there. So I'm actually done with my front, but I would do another piece of white cardstock or white paper on the inside and add a little more. But you can see I use the hammered metal on the front and on the back there, back side. Now for my box, I'm going to show you the hammered metal on a piece of solid cardstock. So I've already assembled the box. The box comes flat. I've just folded it. So with my hammered metal, this time it doesn't matter which side I have up because my paper is reversible. So again, I'll put that in my folder with my purple plate. And with this, with the Big Shot, it's this platform, and I'm going to run that through. So now you can see what it looks like on a piece of solid cardstock. That's the one side, and you could use that one. Or here's the other side. I'm going to use this one. So let's just mat this onto my piece of shaded spruce. I have a length of the shaded spruce and gold ribbon. I'm just going to tie it around one edge and just tie a knot. I'm not going to worry about a bow. Let's just put a knot in there. Now I can just trim down that tail there and there. I'm going to use a little bit of tape and tear on the back of this just because it's going to go down on a slick surface. Removing that backing, and the tape and tear is a very, very strong adhesive, so it's nice for holding this down and onto this box top. With the shaded spruce, stamp the plaid tree, ink that up. With cherry cobbler, I'm going to stamp my other tree, and I'm just going to stamp the same color. So this tree has two different parts. It has the leaves that will go over, and you could do two different colors, but I am just going to do the same color. You can punch those out with the coordinating punch. On this piece of Whisper White cardstock, I'm going to emboss in gold my Merry Christmas. So let's use this is my favorite embossing ink, the VersaMark. And I don't have to worry about having it straight or anything because it's going to be die cut with an oval die, using one of the layering oval dies. So let's get my gold on there. Okay, I've got the excess powder off, and so now I can heat set this. From the layering oval dies, this is a wonderful basic die set to have. I am just going to use this oval to die cut this Merry Christmas. So I've already used that oval and die cut the coordinating scalloped shape, and that is cut from shaded spruce, because the colors in this wrapped in plaid paper is shaded spruce and cherry cobbler. And that's an awesome thing about Stampin' Up! Is all the coordinating that they do with their colors. And what's awesome is I don't really have to think then about what kind of colors I'm going to use. I can just go ahead and use the colors that they suggest. I love that these trees are punched out because there's so many fun things to do. And I find a punch is actually quite a bit quicker than the dies. The dies have their place and they're wonderful, but punches, they're a little bit quicker for me. So let's remove those covers and put that on. You could probably mass produce quite a few of these. It's really not that difficult. So there's my Hammered Metal Embossing Folder. Use both sides. You can use this side or the other side. It's an awesome dot. It's an awesome folder. I hope you stay tuned for another holiday video.